All right, hello everyone. I'm making another lesson video. I went back to my one junior high for the first time since the last school year. So it's been just over a month since I've seen these students and teachers. So it's the beginning of the year, and I'm gonna show you a lesson that I taught to my Ichinensei, or grade 1 students, or in Canadian terms, grade 7 students, because it's a junior high. So yeah, let's start. The first thing I would do is reintroduce myself, because some students, like in one of my classes, there was like a new student, and then I'm not sure about the other classes, but it's, even just to like refresh for the students who you are kind of thing is really good. So I wrote my name on a name card, on a name card, and then I put it on the desk so that all the students can see. And for elementary classes, like for grade 5, where it's like their first time taking English, I show the hiragana, the katakana side. And then for, I guess like average English speakers or like beginners, they can read lettering. I do it like that. Anyways, so after I tell them my name, I pull out these cards. So these cards are pictures of and about Jessica Sensei. So I have, the first thing I say is where I'm from, and I like to get the students to guess, so I'll hide this behind my back. I'll be like, where am I from? And then they'll say Canada, and I'll be like, yeah. So the first picture I show them is a maple leaf, and then I tell them it's the same design on our flag. And then I got like the Rocky Mountains, native, because I have this bag that for grade 5 students, I'll pass it around, but for the other students, they already saw it. And I've got poutine, and then more personal stuff, so like my house, my cats, my job. I was a cleaner in Canada. That's my car, upside down. I had to sell it before coming here. And my dad's car is like super nice. Anyway, so I show them that, and then that basically like gets us reintroduced kind of thing. And then immediately after that, I made this. This is new. So these are my Do You Understand cards. So basically, I'll explain an activity or a game, and then I'll ask students to raise like if they understand it. Now, I've come to learn to only use these cards for low-level English speakers, because the higher-level English speakers, like, they just say yes or they say no. So for example, I'd use these in like a grade 5, grade 6 class, and then depending on the school for junior high, some of them are a lot lower level English, so we would use these cards. So on the back, I've got the hiragana for yes, no, and so-so, and then for English, I have yes, no, so-so. And for half my junior high classes at the one school I went to that I did this lesson at, I use these cards. But for grade 7, or like the first graders, I did use these. So I handed them out to each student, and then I explained what they were. And then I told them that every class I'm going to hand these out. And after talking with the teacher, we realized it might be better to only hand them out for specific activities that use them or whatever. But for now, these are a good idea, because they're still, like, they're fresh out of elementary, so this might give them a little bit more confidence. Like, when I handed these out, they're like, yes, no, so-so, just, like, having a good time with those. Anyways, immediately after that, I wrote down the menu here, so this is what I would do. So, my greeting, my introduction, or self-intro, the cards, and then, okay, so because it's the first time the students are really in an English class, this is the New Horizon book, which is their English textbook. And the first thing we do is we go over classroom nouns and classroom gestures. So the first thing I'll do is I'll say, okay, what's this? And I'll point to a desk in the classroom, and then the students will say it either in Japanese or English, and then I get them to repeat me. So I'll say desk, and they'll say desk, and then I'll point to a pencil. What's this? And they'll say pencil or pen, and I'll say it's pencil, and then they repeat me. And then I show them the whiteboard marker, whiteboard eraser, eraser, clock, window, door. So just all the different classroom nouns that the students will be hearing a lot more of. And then we practice the gestures. So the first thing I do is we go through all of them once just to practice. So I'll say stand up, and then they all stand up, and then I'll say sit down, they all sit down. I'll say raise your hand. So we go through all of them and they practice all of them, all the gestures, and then we play a game out of this after. So basically I say, okay, who can do the gesture the fastest? So instead of me doing the gesture with them, I only say what they should do, and then whoever does it the fastest, we just say, oh, you're the champion, good job, woo. So the kids, like, they really enjoyed the speediness, like the racing or whatever, so that was really fun. So one of them here is, excuse me, what's noto in English? So we meshed these plus say it again together with my JTE. So my JTE played as, you know, an English learner, and then I was the sensei, the ALT. So the student, or yeah, my JTE would come to me and say, excuse me, and I'd say, oh, hello, and then she would say, what's noto in English? And then I would say, notebook, and then she would say that again, and then I'd say, notebook, and she says, okay, thank you. So this was our demonstration for the students to understand what these were, and we practiced, like I had them repeat me at least once through to practice those. And then one of them here is open your book to page 4. But what I get them to do is to open their book to page 11, which is the character, it's the character page, so it has all the character information, because today's activity involves these characters. So what I would do is I would get them to repeat the names. So this is Saki, Kota, Deepa, Alex, and Ellen. Those are the 5 characters we chose. So, what the activity was, or what the grammar point was, I guess, for that that lesson was, are you name? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. So we practiced. The first thing I did was I asked, are you blah 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 to the teacher, like, are you Sakura to the teacher? And then she would say, no, I'm not. And then I'd say, are you Kota? And she would say, no, I'm not. And then I'd say, are you? And then I'd say her name, and she would say, yes, I am. And then she would do the same to me, so demonstrating the grammar. And then I would turn to the students and I would ask, okay, are you name? What's this in Japanese? And so the teacher would work with the students to try and figure out how to translate the sentence. And once they got it, I would say, okay, yes, I am, just to reconfirm, yes, I am, and no, I'm not. And I make like an X with my hands. Because apparently this gesture in Japan means like go die or something, like it's really bad, so don't do that in the classroom. So always just do the X for no. Anyway, so once we practiced it, then we would bring these characters in. So, for example, I would say, please repeat after me. Are you Saki? And the students would go, are you Saki? And then I'd say, yes, I am. And the students would repeat, and then I'd go, no, I'm not. And then they would repeat. And then I'd say, are you Kota? Which is the next character. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And then, are you Deepa? And so we'd go all the way through, and then when it got to Alex, because he's from Canada, I'd just be like dancing at the front of the classroom, like, yeah, Alex is my friend, we're good friends, because we're Canadians. Anyways, so once we go through all the characters, including Ellen, we begin the activity. What the activity is each student gets a picture of a character. So these are the 5 characters. We basically cut them up so that there were enough for 1 character per student. So the student would grab a character card, and then it would be super secret. They couldn't tell anyone who it was. And they'd put it back into the pile. And then each student got this worksheet. And what they had to do was go, it's an interview game basically, so they had to go to the other students in the class and ask, "Are you Saki?" And then they would reply. If they say, "Yes, I am," then that person signs right here. So you have evidence that you met a Saki. And the teacher like really reinforced no Japanese, and it's really important that you do that for these like interview style games, which can be so difficult if the students are just not into English. So luckily my students were actually pretty good. So yeah, we practiced all of them again before we did this, and then I'd say, okay, let's start. And myself and my partner teacher also had a secret character. So my partner teacher liked Deepa, so she picked Deepa, and then I picked Ellen. And then the students would come around and they would ask. And what's really cool about this is I sign my name like in cursive writing, and then the students would like be really happy about that, because apparently getting a signature from a foreigner is like a big thing to them. So that was kind of like a treat. It motivated them to come to me and ask the grammar and work on the grammar. So okay, so once everyone was over, I think the teacher allotted about 10 minutes to walk, or 15 minutes to walk around and talk with everyone. And at the end we would ask, okay, who has all the characters? Who found all the characters? And you know, some students would raise their hand and we'd say, okay, good job, you're today's champions, because my partner teacher really enjoys the word champion and like the concept of champions. So then she said, you know, everybody else, super good job, you did really great. And then we would ask the students to count exactly how many names they had. And the most names, we would say, oh, you're a champion, good job, you did really well. And then we would get students to or before they handed this in, we would get each student to say who they are. So then they would go, I am Saki, or I am Kota, or I am Deepa, so that kind of thing. And then by that time it was like the end of class, and then they just passed these in, and at the end I wrote good job and I put like a smiley face, and like I want these students to know that I really do care about, you know, the effort they put in on this stuff. So usually whenever I get a worksheet, I'll put a little doodle on there or something, because yeah, it's really nice. So anyways, I believe that's it for the grade 1 lesson involving are you blah blah blah, and introducing the new characters of the book, and reintroducing myself, and introducing the concept of the do you understand cards. So that all happened in the first grade. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.